George Washington knew what he wanted to be. He wanted to be rich and he wanted to be famous. These would be goals that he would eventually achieve, but not without some hard work and some trying times. George Washington grew up on a colony in Virginia. He found himself fighting the French during the French and Indian Wars, and particularly he would start the French and Indian War. Few people realize that George Washington started the French and Indian War. It happened when he went to the Ohio Valley to try to drive the French out of an area that he believed belonged to Virginia. It was 1754. He found that the French had built a fort called Fort Duquesne. He attacked a small French party. Out of necessity, he built a fort called Fort Necessity. He eventually was allowed to surrender and return back to Washington decided he wanted to try to become a British officer, and he saw his opportunity when General Edward Braddock showed up to the Virginia colony. Braddock wanted to march 1,400 soldiers to attack the French at Fort Duquesne, and Washington would serve as a scout for his army. Braddock refused to listen to the advice of George Washington, and he also turned away a couple of Indian volunteers that could have served as scouts for him. Instead, what happened is, on the march, Braddock was killed when an Indian raiding party of the French came and attacked the soldiers and brutally slaughtered them on the battlefield. Washington kept fighting, but he survived. Braddock did not. George Washington would eventually become the general of the whole entire Continental Army, and they would find themselves fighting the British for their independence. Victoriously, they would defeat the British at the Battle of Yorktown, gaining their independence, and then George Washington eventually became the first United States president. George Washington was never injured in battle. He had several horses shot out from under him, and several bullets had gone through his jacket, but he himself had never been hit. He was protected, as some of the Indians believed, by a great spirit. George Washington was considered bulletproof, and he survived until the age of 67 and then died of pneumonia after serving his country faithfully.